Martha Wayland stared through the viewport as Frontier Station Omega-7 grew larger against the backdrop of swirling cosmic dust. The transport ship trembled as it docked, metal grinding against metal. Her fingers tightened around the silver locket, containing her husband's photo. Paul had been dead for 3 months now. The official report called it an accident during his diplomatic mission. Martha knew better. The station was exactly as she'd imagined from Paul's descriptions. A massive wheel-shaped structure spinning slowly to create artificial gravity, lights blinking across its surface like fallen stars. Constructed from salvaged ship parts and expansion modules, it had grown organically over decades into a sprawling maze. This far from Earth authority, rules bent easily, especially for those with money or power. "First time on Omega-7? Asked the transport pilot, a weathered man with kind eyes. "Yes," Martha said, tucking a strand of brown hair behind her ear. "Watch yourself. It's not a friendly place for newcomers, especially not for a woman alone." Martha smiled politely. "I'll manage." The pilot couldn't know that beneath her grieving. Widow's clothes, simple black pants and jacket. Her body was a weapon honed through years of military training. Before meeting Paul, she had been someone else entirely, someone dangerous, someone feared. The docking bay was loud and crowded. Species from across the galaxy pushed past each other, trading insults and goods with equal enthusiasm. Martha shouldered her small bag and followed the exit signs, ignoring the stares her human features attracted in this mixed crowd. Her first stop was lodging. The station directory led her to a small hotel run by an elderly woman named Ellie Harding. The lobby was clean but worn, with furniture that had seen better decades. "Just you, dear?" Ellie asked, her wrinkled face kind but curious. "Yes. Business or pleasure?" "Personal matter," Martha said, sliding her payment card across the counter. Ellie studied her face. "You're looking for someone." Martha hesitated. "Information." "Ah." Ellie nodded slowly. "Then you'll need the Void. Only place worth anything for station gossip. But," she frowned, "it's not welcoming to women. Men only, they say. Some nonsense about tradition and business privacy." "Where is it?" "Level 3, Red Sector." "But listen, dear, why not tell me what you need? I've been here 30 years, I know things." Martha considered this. "A diplomatic vessel, the Harmony. It was destroyed 3 months ago. I need to know what really happened." Ellie's eyes widened. "The Harmony incident? That's dangerous territory. They say it was Kravex extremists, but..." She lowered her voice. "There are whispers it was something else. The owner of the Void, Frank Dillinger, he used to be military command. Some say he knows things about that mission." "Thank you," Martha said, taking her room key. "Be careful. Dillinger isn't just some barkeeper. He has connections everywhere, human and alien alike. Some very bad people owe him favors." Martha nodded. "I'll keep that in mind." In her room, Martha unpacked quickly. She removed a false bottom from her bag and took out her pulse pistol. The weapon was sleek and black, modified to be undetectable by standard security scans. She checked the charge, then concealed it in a hidden holster under her jacket. Next, she retrieved the datapad Paul had sent her just before his death. The encrypted message had arrived 3 days after his ship supposedly exploded. It contained only coordinates for Omega-7 and 2 words: "Find truth." Martha freshened up and studied her reflection. Her face showed no trace of the elite operative she had once been. 5 years of peaceful married life had softened her appearance, though not her skills. She had kept training in secret, unable to fully leave behind the woman known as the Ghost. She made her way to Level 3, navigating the crowded corridors with practiced ease. Red Sector was noticeably rougher than the docking areas. The lighting was dimmer, the people more suspicious. No station security was visible here. The Void wasn't hard to find. Unlike the other establishments with bright signs and open doors, it was marked only by a simple black door with the name etched in metal. Martha could hear the mixture of human and alien voices inside, loud with drink and deals. She took a deep, breath and pushed open the door. The noise dropped immediately. Dozens of eyes turned to her, human, Cravex, Solarian, and species she couldn't name. The room was filled with the smell of alcohol and smoke. At the bar, a tall man with a scarred face stopped mid-pour. "Lost lady?" he asked, his voice carrying in the sudden quiet. "I'm looking for information," Martha said, walking further in, "and a drink." A ripple of laughter moved through the room. A burly spacer at a nearby table grinned, showing metal teeth. "This ain't a tourism office," he said. "And we don't serve your kind." "My kind?" Martha raised an eyebrow. "Women," said the bartender. "House rule. Nothing personal. Men's business gets done here." More laughter followed. Martha stood her ground. "I believe Frank Dillinger might make an exception." The room grew quieter again. The bartender's eyes narrowed. "Jack," said a voice from the back. "Bring her to my office." The crowd parted to reveal a door behind the bar. The bartender, Jack, gestured for her to follow, his expression sour. "Your funeral," he muttered. As Martha moved through the room, a Cravex alien stepped into her path. The insectoid being clicked its mandibles in what might have been amusement. "Human females are so fragile," it said in broken English. "Break so easily." It reached out with a clawed hand toward Martha's face. In one fluid motion, Martha grabbed the alien's wrist, twisted it downward, and used its momentum to send it sprawling across the floor. The move was so quick, so practiced, that many missed exactly what happened. The laughter stopped. "Fragile is a matter of perspective," Martha said quietly. She followed Jack to the back office, feeling the weight of her hidden gun against her side. The door closed behind her with a heavy thud. The office was surprisingly well appointed. Real. Wood paneling, earth artifacts, and a massive desk where a man sat watching her with interest. Frank Dillinger was younger than she expected, maybe 50, with salt and pepper hair and the hard eyes of someone who had seen too much war. "Mrs. Wayland," he said, pronouncing her name carefully. "I wondered if you might find your way here." Martha kept her face neutral, though her heart raced. "You know who I am. I make it my business to know when a ghost comes aboard my station." He smiled thinly. "Or should I say, the ghost?" Martha's hand moved imperceptibly closer to her concealed weapon. "I left that name behind long ago." "Did you?" Dillinger motioned. "To a chair. Please sit. Let's discuss why a decorated former operative, presumed retired, has come to my humble establishment asking questions about a tragic accident." "We both know it wasn't an accident," Martha said, remaining standing. Dillinger studied her for a long moment, then nodded slightly. "No, it wasn't." Dillinger leaned back in his chair and opened a drawer. Martha tensed, but he only pulled out 2 glasses and a bottle of amber liquid. "Whiskey. Real earth whiskey," he said, pouring 2 fingers in each glass. "A luxury out here." Martha remained, standing. "I didn't come for drinks." "No, you came for answers about your husband." Dillinger pushed 1 glass toward her. "But information isn't free on Omega-7. I have money." "Money." Dillinger laughed softly. "I have plenty of that." "What? I need her services, skills, your kind of skills." Martha took the seat across from him. "I don't do that work anymore. Yet here you are, armed and dangerous." His eyes flicked to where her pulse pistol was hidden. "The ghost was legendary. They say you could get in and out of anywhere. That you never missed a target. That was before Paul." Dillinger sipped his whiskey. "A diplomat with a secret operative wife. Interesting choice. Tell me what happened to the Harmony," Martha said. Dillinger watched her over the rim of his glass. "It wasn't destroyed by Cravex extremists as reported. It was attacked by a stealth vessel with military-grade weapons. Human weapons." Martha kept her face still, though her heart pounded. "You have proof?" "I have sources. Good ones." Dillinger set down his glass. "But full details? Names? That'll cost you." "How much?" 3 jobs. Complete them successfully, and I'll tell you everything. Who ordered the hit, who carried it out, and why? Martha finally reached for the whiskey. What kind of jobs? Before Dillinger could answer, the office door burst open. Jack the bartender stood there, his face tight with worry. Boss, trouble, station security just docked. Word is they're doing a surprise inspection, level by level. Dillinger cursed. Bribes not paid? Worse. Direct orders from Earth Command. They're looking for someone. Both men looked at Martha. She kept her expression neutral, but her mind raced. Had they tracked her here already? Back exit, Dillinger said, standing quickly. Through the storage room. Jack, create a distraction if they get this far. Jack nodded and left. Dillinger turned to Martha. We'll continue this later. Meet me at Dock 17 in 3 hours. Martha stood. Why are you helping me? I'm not. His smile was cold. I'm investing in a valuable asset. Now go. Martha slipped through the storage room and out a hidden door that opened into a narrow maintenance corridor. She heard commotion from the void as patrons argued with what must be security officers. She moved quickly in the opposite direction. The first junction, she nearly collided with a tall figure. Martha reached for her pistol but stopped when she recognized the station mechanic, Ellie Harding. This way, Ellie whispered, gesturing to a small access hatch. They're checking IDs on all levels, looking for recent arrivals. Martha followed the older woman through a maze of service tunnels. The tight spaces smelled of oil and recycled air. Why are you helping me? Martha asked as they climbed down a ladder. Because they killed your husband, Ellie said simply. And because I know who you were, Ghost. They emerged in what appeared to be Ellie's personal workshop. Tools lined. The walls and half-finished projects covered every surface. How did you know? Martha asked. My late husband was station security chief for 20 years. He kept files on everyone interesting who passed through. Ellie moved to a cabinet and pulled out an old data pad, including an operative who disappeared. 5 years ago, after completing an impossible extraction on Cravex Prime, Martha remembered that mission. It was her last before meeting Paul. Does Dillinger know details about the Harmony? She asked. Yes. But whatever he wants you to do, be careful. Frank never gives something for nothing. Martha nodded. I need to get to Dock 17 without being seen. Ellie smiled. I can do better than that. I can tell you what's waiting there. She activated a security feed on her datapad. Dock 17 showed a small, sleek ship being loaded with crates. The Runner, Ellie explained. Fast courier vessel, Captain Samantha Rodriguez, everyone calls her Sam. She smuggles high-value items between systems. Works with Dillinger sometimes. Martha studied the image. What's her cargo? That's the job. He's going to give you. Those crates contain stolen medical supplies. Raid money paid them to hijack the shipment from a hospital transport. Sam needs to deliver them to the Outlands, but there's a blockade, and he wants me to help get past it. Likely. Sam's good, but this job needs more than a pilot. Martha considered her options. What about station security? Earth Command sent them. Not normal procedure this far out. Someone knows I'm here, Martha said quietly. Yes. And they're scared of what you might learn. Ellie handed her a small communicator. Take this. Untraceable channel. I have access to most station systems. I can help. Martha took the device. Why risk yourself for me? Ellie's face hardened. My daughter was a medic on the Harmony. Official report says everyone died instantly, in the explosion. But if you're right... She took a breath. I want the truth too. Martha felt the weight of this new information. Not just Paul, but an entire crew. All those lives. How do I get to Dock 17 unseen? Ellie moved to the floor and lifted a panel, revealing a narrow passage. Maintenance shafts run throughout the station. This one leads directly to the dock level. I'll monitor security positions and guide you. Martha checked her pistol and slipped into the passage. The tight space reminded her of training exercises long ago. She moved silently, listening to Ellie's occasional directions through the communicator. After 20 minutes of careful navigation, she reached the access point near Dock 17. According to Ellie, security had already searched this area and moved on. Martha emerged from the shaft and approached the ship cautiously. A woman stood by the loading ramp checking inventory on a data pad. She was tall and lean with short black hair and the confident stance of someone used to trouble. Sam Rodriguez. "You're late," Sam said without looking up. Martha stopped. "You were expecting me?" Dillinger said his new specialist would meet me here. Sam finally looked at her, eyebrows rising slightly. "Didn't mention you'd be a woman." "Problem?" Sam grinned. "The opposite. Men talk too much." "You ready to work?" "That depends on what the job is." "Simple. I fly. You make sure we don't get shot down or boarded." Sam gestured to the ship. "We leave in 30 minutes. From the communicator, Ellie's voice came urgently. "Martha, security is heading back your way. Someone tipped them off." Martha made her decision. "I need to board now." Sam noticed her tension. "Trouble? Station security. Looking for me." Sam didn't hesitate. "Inside, now." As Martha hurried up the ramp, she heard the heavy boots of security officers approaching the dock. The ship door closed behind her just as they rounded the corner. Through the viewport, Martha could see them shouting, weapons drawn. Sam slipped into the pilot's seat and fired up the engines. "Might want to strap in," she called back. "This departure won't be authorized." As the ship broke away from the dock, alarms blared throughout the station. Martha felt the familiar rush of adrenaline. For better or worse, she was committed now. To finding the truth about Paul's death. To becoming the Ghost once more. The runner shot away from Omega 7 like a bullet. Martha held tight to her seat as the ship accelerated. Through the viewport, she saw station security vessels scramble in pursuit. "They won't catch us," Sam said confidently, her hands dancing. Across the controls. "Runner's the fastest ship in this sector." Martha watched as Sam executed a complex series of maneuvers, weaving between larger cargo vessels. The security ships fell further behind. "Setting course for the Outlands," Sam announced. "We'll be there in 6 hours if we don't hit trouble." "And we will hit trouble," Martha said. "The blockade." Sam glanced back with a half smile. "That's where you come in. Dillinger says you're the best." Martha moved to the co-pilot seat. "What exactly is this cargo?" "Medical supplies. Vaccines for stellar fever. There's an outbreak in the Outland colonies. If they're needed so badly, why steal them?" Sam's face hardened. "Earth Command is withholding treatment from colonies that won't pay increased taxes. People are dying because of politics." Martha thought of Paul. He had always fought against such injustices through diplomatic channels. "The blockade is military?" 3 patrol cruisers with orders to stop all ships heading to the Outlands. Sam looked at her seriously. "So what's your plan, Ghost?" Martha raised an eyebrow. "Dillinger told you?" "Enough to know you're not just some grieving widow." Sam eyed the hidden pistol at Martha's side. "Though I'm guessing that part's true too." Martha turned to the ship's computer. "Show me the patrol routes and blockade positions." Sam pulled up a holographic display of the sector. 3 Earth Command cruisers were positioned at key jump points leading to the Outlands. "Standard formation," Martha noted. "They rotate positions every 2 hours and communicate on encrypted channels." Sam looked impressed. "You've done this before." "Something similar." Martha studied the display. "We need to create a diversion. Something that will pull at least 2 cruisers away from their posts." "Like what?" "A distress call. From someone they can't ignore." Martha's mind worked quickly, falling back into old patterns of tactical thinking. "What's the name of the Earth Command officer in charge of this sector?" Sam checked the ship's database. "Captain William Foster commands the lead vessel, the Valiant." Martha nodded. "And where was Foster stationed before this assignment?" Sam scrolled through information. "Luna Base. For 5 years. Perfect." Martha turned to the communications array. "We're going to send a priority distress call from a vessel claiming to be carrying Luna Base personnel." Understanding dawned on Sam's face. "He'll have to respond." "Yes." But we need to make it convincing. Martha began adjusting the communication settings. Can you modify our signal to look like it's coming from a different location? Sure. But what about the third cruiser? Even if two respond to our fake distress call, we still have to get past one. Martha smiled slightly. That's where I come. And so for the next hour they prepared their plan. Sam modified the runner's transponder to identify as a medical transport, while Martha created a convincing distress message. When they were 3 hours from the blockade, they sent the signal. This is Medical Transport Mercy. We have Luna Base personnel aboard. Our life support is failing. Request immediate assistance. They repeated the message, adding details about critical injuries and dropping the names of several high-ranking Luna Base officers. Then they waited. After 30 minutes, the ship's sensors detected movement. 2 of the blockade cruisers, including Foster's command ship, broke formation and moved toward the false distress coordinates. It worked, Sam said, surprised. They actually fell for it. People respond to what they know, Martha replied. Foster couldn't ignore a call from his old command. Sam adjusted their course. 1 cruiser left, the Sentinel. What's the plan? Get me as close as possible without being detected. Sam looked skeptical but guided the runner toward the remaining cruiser, using a nearby asteroid field for cover. When they were within range, Martha moved to the airlock and began checking a spacesuit. You're going outside? Sam asked incredulously. I need to disable their communications array. Once that's done, you'll have approximately 3 minutes to fly past before they can alert the other ships. Sam shook her head. That's suicide. I've done harder things. Martha secured her pulse, pistol to the suit. Just be ready to move fast. Sam brought the runner within 200 meters of the Sentinel, hiding in the shadow of a large asteroid. Martha stepped into the airlock. If I'm not back in 15 minutes, leave without me. Not a chance, Sam replied. We finish this together. Martha nodded, feeling an unexpected appreciation for her new ally. The outer door opened and she launched herself toward the cruiser. The vacuum of space was familiar territory for Martha. Her specialized training had included extensive zero-gravity operations. She used the suit's small thrusters to guide herself to the Sentinel's hull, landing silently near the communications array. Working quickly, she attached a small device to the array. The electromagnetic pulse would temporarily disable all communications without causing permanent damage. She activated the timer and pushed off from the hull. Halfway back to the runner, disaster struck. A security drone rounded the ship, its sensors immediately locking onto Martha's position. A warning light flashed on her helmet display as the drone targeted her with a stun beam. Martha fired her pulse pistol, hitting the drone, but not before it alerted the cruiser. Alarms blared across the Sentinel's hull. They've spotted me, she called through her comm. EMP activating in 30 seconds. Be ready. She pushed her thrusters to maximum, racing back to the runner as the cruiser's defense systems came online. A warning shot from a pulse cannon flashed past her. The airlock door of the runner opened ahead. Martha made a final push, practically flying into the ship as Sam closed the door behind her. EMP now! Martha shouted, removing her helmet. The lights on the Sentinel flickered and died. The massive cruiser drifted, temporarily powerless. Go, Martha ordered, still catching her breath. Sam didn't need to be told twice. The runner accelerated past the disabled cruiser, setting course directly for the Outlands. That was... Sam shook her head as they cleared the blockade. I've never seen anything like that. Martha removed the spacesuit, checking for damage. The cruiser will regain power in about 4 minutes. We need to be well away by then. We will be. Sam engaged the faster-than-light drive. The stars stretched around them as the ship jumped to safety. When they were clear, Sam set the runner on autopilot and turned to face Martha. Dillinger said you'd get the job done, but that was something else. Her expression was curious. Why? Are you helping me smuggle vaccines? What's in it for you? Martha thought about Ellie's daughter on the Harmony, about all the innocent lives lost. Information about my husband's death? She answered simply. Dillinger promised answers if I completed 3 jobs for him. Sam's expression changed. The Harmony incident? That's what this is about? Martha looked at her sharply. You know about it? Rumors. That it wasn't an accident. Sam hesitated. That it was connected to something bigger. What do you mean, bigger? Sam lowered her voice despite them being alone on the ship. Word is your husband discovered something. Something about Earth Command and the Kravex. A secret deal. Martha felt her heart rate increase. What kind of deal? The kind that gets people killed for knowing about it. Sam looked troubled. The kind that might start a war. Martha stared at Sam, her mind racing with this new information. A war? Between humans and the Kravex? Sam nodded grimly. The colonies are on edge already. One major incident could spark a full conflict. And someone wants that to happen, Martha said slowly. But why? War means weapons, ships, supplies. Sam's expression was hard. Big profits for the right people. Martha thought of Paul. His mission had been to improve relations with the Kravex. If he had discovered a plot, to start a war instead? I need to know more, she said. Everything you've heard about the Harmony. Before Sam could answer, the ship's alarm blared. Sam rushed to the controls. 3 ships just appeared on long-range sensors, military class. Her hands flew across the console. They're gaining fast. Martha joined her at the viewport. Earth. Command already? They shouldn't have found us this quickly. Not Earth Command. Sam magnified the image. No official markings. These are private ships, high-end mercenaries. Someone doesn't want those vaccines delivered, Martha said. Or they don't want me to reach the Outlands. Or both. Sam pushed the runner's engines harder. We've got maybe 20 minutes before they're in weapons range. Martha studied the tactical display. We won't outrun them, not all 3. I know a place, Sam said. An old mining station in the Keller Belt. It's abandoned, but the docking systems still work. We might lose them there. How far? 10 minutes at maximum burn. Martha nodded. Do it. The ship lurched as Sam diverted all power to the engines. The stars blurred outside the viewport as they raced toward the Keller Belt, a dense region of asteroids and debris from old mining operations. Who would send mercenaries after us, Martha asked, checking the weapon systems. Could be the same people who attacked the Harmony. Sam's face was grim with concentration. If your husband found proof of their plans, they'd want to eliminate anyone who might uncover the same information. The Keller Belt appeared ahead, a swirling mass of rocks and twisted metal. Sam guided the runner deeper into the debris field, the hull shuddering as small fragments struck the shields. There, Sam pointed to a dark structure barely visible among the asteroids. The old station. As they approached, Martha could see it was once a substantial operation. The central hub was intact, though the outer sections were heavily damaged. Sam slowed the ship, maneuvering carefully toward a docking port. What's the plan once we're inside? Martha asked. The station's structure will block their sensors. We dock, power down completely, and wait for them to give up searching. The runner slid into the docking port with a metallic clang. Sam shut down all systems except life support and minimal lighting. Now we wait, she whispered, as if the mercenaries might hear them through the vacuum of space. They sat in near darkness, watching the tactical display as the 3 pursuing ships entered the debris field. The mercenaries moved cautiously, searching, methodically through the belt. They're not giving up, Martha observed after an hour. They're too determined. They'll have to leave eventually, Sam said, but she sounded uncertain. Another hour passed. One mercenary ship drifted dangerously close to their position, its searchlights scanning the station exterior. Martha and Sam held their breath until it moved away. This isn't working, Martha finally said. We need to be more proactive. What do you mean? The station still has power, right? Enough for basic systems? Sam nodded. Emergency power. Why? Because I have an idea. Martha moved to the ship's computer. Can you access the station's systems from here? Sam connected to the station's mainframe. Basic functions only. Life support, docking, some defensive capabilities. Defensive capabilities? Martha raised an eyebrow. Mining stations were valuable targets for pirates. This one has old pulse cannons for protection. Sam looked at Martha with sudden understanding. You want to use the station against them? Exactly. Martha examined the schematics. If we can power up those cannons, we might even the odds. They worked quickly, rerouting power from the station's dormant systems to the defense grid. The process was delicate. Too much power might alert the mercenaries to their presence. Almost there, Sam whispered as the defense console flickered to life. Cannons at 40% capacity. It's enough, Martha said, taking control of the targeting system. Her military training came back instantly, fingers moving with practiced precision. On the tactical display, the 3 mercenary ships had split up to search different sections of the belt. Martha locked onto the nearest one. Ready? She asked. Sam nodded, tension visible in her face. Martha fired. The pulse cannon's beam sliced through space, striking the mercenary ship's engine section. The vessel spun wildly, emergency thrusters firing as it tried to stabilize. Direct hit, Sam exclaimed. The other 2 ships immediately changed course, moving toward their damaged companion. Martha fired again, striking a second ship's weapons array. Explosions rippled across its hull. They're calling for backup, Sam reported, monitoring communications. We need to move now. They powered up the runner and launched from the docking port. The remaining functional mercenary ship turned to pursue, but its attention was divided between them and its damaged allies. Setting course for the Outlands, Sam said as they cleared the debris field. We should reach the medical drop point in 3 hours. Martha kept her eyes on the tactical display until the mercenary ships disappeared from sensor range. Only then did she allow herself to relax slightly. When we deliver the vaccines, what's next? She asked. Back to Omega-7, Sam replied. Dillinger will have your second job waiting, unless you want to quit while you're ahead. Martha shook her head. Not until I get the truth about Paul. Sam studied her for a moment. There's something you should know. About the Outlands. What? There's someone there who might have information about the Harmony. A former Earth Command intelligence officer named Ben Lawson. He went rogue last year, set up shop in Outland Colony 5. Martha felt a surge of hope. And you think he knows something? He specialized in Kravex affairs. If there was a conspiracy involving them and Earth Command, he might have details. Why didn't you tell me this before? Sam looked uncomfortable. Because Dillinger warned me not to. Said it wasn't part of our arrangement. Martha's eyes narrowed. Dillinger is controlling what information I get. Stringing me along with these jobs? Probably, Sam admitted. That's how he operates. But I've lost friends to this conflict too. If someone's pushing for a war... She left the thought unfinished. Martha made her decision. After the medical drop, we're going to Colony 5. I want to talk to Lawson. Dillinger won't like that. I don't care what Dillinger likes. Martha's voice was firm. I've played his game long enough. Sam smiled slightly. I was hoping you'd say that. She adjusted their course. Colony 5 it is. As the runner sped toward the Outlands, Martha felt herself getting closer to the truth about Paul's death, and possibly to something much bigger than she had imagined. Outland Colony 5 was a patchwork of prefabricated buildings and repurposed ship parts. Unlike the polished stations of Earth Command, the colony had a raw, unfinished quality. People moved with purpose through the dusty streets, their faces weathered by hard living. Martha and Sam had delivered the vaccines to the main medical center at Colony 3 before continuing to their real destination. Now they walked through Colony 5's central marketplace, alert for any sign of trouble. Lawson runs a data shop near the edge of the settlement, Sam explained, keeping her voice low. He trades in information, costly information. I have credits, Martha said. It might not be enough. Lawson doesn't just want money, he wants things that increase his safety and leverage. They turned down a narrow side street where the buildings pressed close together. At the end stood a small structure with A simple sign, Data Solutions. Let me do the talking at first, Sam said as they approached. Lawson is paranoid for good reason. The door slid open as they neared. Inside, the shop was crammed with computer equipment and data storage units. A thin man with sharp eyes watched them from behind a cluttered desk. He had the nervous energy of someone who had spent too long looking over his shoulder. Samantha Rodriguez, he said, voice raspy. Been a while. Ben. Sam nodded. Business good? Good enough. His eyes shifted to Martha. Who's your friend? Someone, with questions about the Harmony incident. Lawson's face hardened. He reached under his desk, likely for a weapon. Get out! Martha stepped forward. My husband was on that ship, Paul Wayland. This made Lawson pause. The diplomat? His eyes narrowed as he studied her. Wait, I know you. You're... Yes, Martha said simply. Lawson let out a low whistle. The ghost. Thought you retired. I did. Until they killed my husband. Lawson considered this, then pressed a button under his desk. Metal shutters slid over the windows, and the door locked with a heavy clunk. Security measures, he explained. What we're about to discuss, people have died for less. He moved to a back room and gestured for them to follow. Inside was a small space with a hollow projector in the center. What do you know about the current tensions between Earth Command and the Kravex? Lawson asked. Only what everyone knows, Martha replied. Territorial disputes, resource competition. That's the public story. Lawson activated the projector. A star map appeared showing human and Kravex territories. The reality is different. He highlighted several locations along the border regions. These are the disputed zones. Rich. In rare minerals and jump points. Both sides claim them officially. But unofficially, Sam asked. Unofficially, a group of high-ranking officials from both sides have been working together. Lawson zoomed in on one sector. They've been mining these regions secretly, splitting the profits, billions in resources, extracted without oversight or taxation. Martha frowned. What does this have to do with the Harmony? Your husband's mission wasn't just diplomatic. Lawson pulled up new data. He was carrying evidence, records of illegal mining operations, names of those involved, including Admiral Carolyn Pierce. Martha felt as if she'd been struck. Pierce? But she was my commanding officer. I worked under her for years. She's been running this operation from the beginning, Lawson continued, along with Kravex High Commander Zexkar. But they had a problem. The border patrols, Sam said. Hard to move ships and equipment without being noticed. Exactly. So they needed a solution. Lawson's voice grew softer. A war. Martha understood immediately. If there's open conflict, military ships moving through those sectors wouldn't raise suspicions, and they could expand operations during the chaos. Lawson nodded. But your husband discovered their plan while preparing peace negotiations, so they killed him. Martha's voice was steady despite her churning emotions, and everyone else aboard. Made it look like a Kravex attack to increase tensions. Lawson pulled up one final image, a security recording showing a stealth vessel firing on the Harmony. I got this from a mining drone that was in the area. The ship's identification was masked, but its design is Earth Command Special Operations. Martha stared at the grainy footage of her husband's death. I need a copy of all of this. It'll cost you, Lawson said automatically, then seemed to reconsider. Though exposing Pierce would be payment enough. She's tried to have me killed 3 times. An alarm suddenly blared from the front room. Lawson rushed to a monitor. We've got company. 6 armed personnel approaching the shop. Military formation. Sam drew her pistol. Pierce's people? Must be. Lawson moved quickly, copying data to a small drive. There's a back exit, leads to the landing pads. Martha checked her pulse pistol. How did they find us? Dillinger, Sam said grimly. He must have tracked the runner. Lawson handed Martha the data drive. Everything's on here. But it won't matter if you don't get off-world with it. The front door exploded inward. Shouting voices filled the outer room. Go. Lawson grabbed a weapon. I'll hold them off. Martha hesitated. Come with us? And abandon my life's work? No thanks. He managed a tight smile. Besides, someone needs to slow them down. Sam pulled Martha toward the back exit. As they slipped out, gunfire erupted behind them. They ran through narrow alleys, heading for the landing pads where the runner waited. We need to warn people, Martha said as they ran. About Pierce. About the war. Who would believe us? Sam panted. We need proof that can't be denied. They reached the landing pads just as a squad of soldiers appeared at the far end. Martha recognized the insignia on their uniforms. Special Operations, Pierce's direct command. Sam opened the runner's hatch. Get in! As they scrambled aboard, weapons fire pinged against the hull. Sam rushed to the controls, firing up the engines. They've locked the docking clamps, she shouted. We can't take off. Martha moved to the weapon controls. Keep trying, I'll give us some cover. She activated the runner's defense turret, firing at the approaching soldiers. They scattered, taking cover behind cargo containers. Override. Codes aren't working, Sam said frantically. They've changed the system. Martha thought quickly. The pulse pistol. If I can reach the main clamp control. Too dangerous, they'll cut you down before you get halfway there. Martha's eyes fell on the data drive in her hand. All the evidence they needed to expose the conspiracy. To get justice for Paul, for Ellie's daughter, for everyone on the Harmony. There's another way. She moved to the communications array. Open a channel. Wide broadcast to all frequencies. Sam looked confused but did as asked. Channel open. What are you doing? Making it public. Martha connected the data drive to the system. Sending everything. To news networks. To military. Headquarters. To every colony in the sector. Understanding dawned on Sam's face. They can't stop every transmission. Exactly. Martha began the upload. And they can't kill everyone who receives it. Outside, more soldiers arrived. A commanding voice ordered them to surrender. Transmission at 60%, Sam reported. But they're breaking through the main door. Martha made her final preparations. When I give the word, divert all power to the engines, full thrust. That'll tear the ship apart if we're still clamped. Not if the clamps are weakened first. Martha moved to the airlock with her pulse pistol. I need one clear shot at the control panel. Sam nodded, understanding the plan. Be careful. Martha opened the inner airlock door. Transmission status? 85%. The outer door slid open. Martha took careful aim at the main clamp control 30 meters away. Weapons fire immediately concentrated on her position. She waited for a brief pause, then leaned out and fired. The pulse struck the control panel, causing it to spark and smoke. The clamps loosened but didn't release completely. Now! Martha shouted, diving back inside as the airlock closed. Sam pushed the engines to maximum. The ship strained against the damaged clamps, metal screaming as it began to tear. Transmission complete, Sam called over the noise. With a final wrench, the runner broke free. The ship shot upward, leaving the soldiers firing uselessly from the landing pad. As they broke atmosphere, the communications system lit up with incoming messages, news networks requesting interviews, military channels demanding they identify themselves, colony administrators asking for more information. It worked, Sam said, amazed. They can't cover it up now. Martha watched as the data spread across every channel. Evidence of the conspiracy. Proof of Admiral Pierce's betrayal. The truth about the Harmony. Paul would have done the same, she said quietly. He believed in transparency. In peace. What now? Sam asked as they cleared the planet's gravity well. Martha thought for a moment, then smiled. Back to Omega-7. I have unfinished business with Dillinger. He won't be happy to see us, Sam warned. Good. Martha felt a sense of purpose she hadn't experienced since before Paul's death. And after that, I think the Void could use new management. Sam raised an eyebrow. You're going to take over a men's-only saloon? I'm going to change it. Martha's expression was determined. Make it a place where information flows freely, where people like Ellie's daughter are remembered, where the truth matters. As the runner set course for Omega-7, Martha looked at the stars stretching before them. The fight wasn't over. Pierce would have allies. There would be those who wanted the war to happen regardless of the exposed conspiracy.